Hello, everybody. My name is Amy Domestico, and I am the Customer Success Manager for Voxnest, and we own Spreaker, which is the podcast website. Today, we're going to be going over Spreaker's tools, the mobile apps, the statistics that we offer. I'm going to give an overview of our monetization program, how to sign up, how to choose your ad settings, how to set your mid-rolls, how to keep track of your revenue, and then the best practices for dynamic ad injection. At the end, I'll do a Q&A. So if you have any questions as we go along, please write them down, and I'll be opening up microphones at the end to take questions. Okay. So what is the Spreaker CMS? So the Spreaker CMS is a content management system. It lets you look after all of the aspects of your podcast from one easy to use location. So if you look over here to the right, this is a Spreaker dashboard, and you'll see there's 4 podcasts in one account here, and this person can manage all of these podcasts from one login. And you're able to access your statistics, the monetization, your settings, everything from one place, which is very nice. We have powerful measurement tools that offer complete insight about the listeners and their behaviors in a single view. It helps you keep your editorial, marketing, and monetization strategies a step ahead. You're able to see your plays versus downloads, your likes, geolocations, demographics, sources, devices, and your followers. And you can also change your view dates here to customize what time frame you're viewing, which is very nice. Spreaker has a couple of apps. We have a recording app, which is super nice. Podcast on the go, live stream, or pre-record from home. Spreaker's free desktop mobile studio apps available on iOS and Android. They let you create audio to suit your lifestyle. So, I don't know, going to the big game and you want to record, you can just pull out your phone and just start recording. If you're at a conference and you want to do a quick interview, you could just take out your phone again and just hit record, and you can record audio, and you can save it and download it and edit it for later, or you can push it right to the Spreaker Studio. We also have a listening app, again, also available on iOS and Android. People can follow you. You can mark favorite episodes, share episodes, and shows with the Spreaker's podcast radio app. So we're going to start by going over the monetization program. So Spreaker Monetization Program dynamically injects ads into your podcast in the set ad markers that you place. You're able to do pre, mid, and post rolls. So where do the ads get stitched? Ads get stitched on the streams and also the downloads. You earn 60% of the ad revenue. Again, you could use pre, mid, and post rolls, but you can also use double ads, which is a back-to-back ad, so that versus a single ad. Ads target your audience by data such as location, gender, age, which platform they're using, iOS or Android, categories, keywords, always while protecting user anonymity, which is nice. Other places ads will be served. Any place your content is served via your RSS feed, such as Apple Podcast, Overcast, which is a podcast app, iHeartRadio, and other catchers. So you get paid for advertisements on a CPM model. So this can be a little bit confusing, so I'm going to break it down for you. A CPM is 1,000 impressions. So for example, if you have one show with 4 ad markers and the show is heard 1,000 times, this equals 4,000, which in turn equals 4 CPMs. So if a CPM is paying $5 for the total amount for that episode, for that 30-day period is going to be $20. I hope that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing. If you have any questions, just ask at the end. To sign up for the monetization program, if you haven't already, you would just simply go to your dashboard, click on monetization, read through the terms of service, accept the terms, and then click apply. Super simple. The next page that you land on is your revenue sharing dashboard. You're going to want to fill in your payment information, and you're also going to fill out your tax information. This way we can pay you. Down here, you're going to see your earnings and impressions report. We're going to get back to this a little bit later, but I just wanted to point this out that your reports can also be found here. And you can sort by show or just do overall. But the next thing you're going to want to do is click on your show settings, which is right here up on the left. The next page you'll see is your show settings and status, pre-rolls, mid-rolls, and post-rolls. This show has all three enabled. You would click on the little pencil to get in to play with your settings. And this is what the next page looks like. This is your settings. So this particular show has all three activated. It has a double pre-roll and a single post-roll, unlimited length on the maximum ad duration for a pre-roll, 30-second ad duration for a mid-roll, and 60 seconds for a post-roll. I did this just so you could see all the different settings. Personally, I would keep it unlimited so you're not limiting your ad income, but it's just me. Down below, you'll see episode ad options. So this is where you would come to place your mid-rolls. So once you've done an episode, you'll come here. And if you want to set your mid-rolls, you would simply just click on the episode down at the bottom. The next page that loads that will look like this, and this is the episode page. You'll see the audio waveform load. You can override show options per show if you need to. But in order to place the mid-roll, the top wave bar, you would slide this particular marker back and forth from left to right, and you'll be able to press play to listen. And once you've found the proper spot and you've placed it, you would simply come down to the bottom here on the right, click Insert Ad. A box will pop up and it's going to say single or double. You would simply click whichever one you wanted and then click Save. If you want to place more than one roll, you would again slide this to wherever you need it to be and repeat this process. Okay, back to the earnings and impression report, which I spoke of before. This is pretty much what it looks like. It goes by date. You've got here ad requests, impressions, and fill rate. Requests are how many times your shows have requested an ad to be placed in an ad marker that you've put into one of your shows. Impressions are the ads that actually served and somebody heard that ad. So there's always going to be a difference between requests and impressions. And this here, the fill rate was 58.64%. That means that 58% of the time when a request was made, an impression was served. And you'll always be able to see this day by day. You can sort by show or get an overall view, and you can also choose the month that you want to look at. As time goes on, you're going to see that you've got a current balance and a most recent payment up here. So this is where you would keep track of all of your revenue moving forward for your dynamic ad injection. So best practices, optimizing your revenue. It's very important. This is super important, actually. If you're trying to optimize your revenue, make sure that all of the podcatchers are pulling from your Spreaker RSS feed. I often talk to people who wonder why they're not making any money, and I take a look at their RSS feeds, and they've got different RSS feeds going to different places. They may be using Spreaker to go to iHeartRadio and Spotify, and maybe you're using Podbean and that's feeding iTunes. You're really going to want all of your all the podcatchers to pull from your Spreaker RSS feed. If you need help consolidating your RSS feeds, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you show you how to do that. It's very simple once you know what you need to do for each platform. So the back catalog, evergreen content should always have pre, mid, and post rolls. If your older content is still bringing in listens, it's worth the minute it takes to set a mid-roll or two for those old episodes. Once you have your back catalog marked for ads, it's really just a matter of maintaining your new content as you create it. Pre-rolls, these have a higher earning potential, so make sure you have pre-rolls set. Mid-rolls also have a high earning potential. I didn't add that in here, which I need to, but mid-rolls are super important when your goal is to basically earn income from your podcast. Best practices continued here. The mid-rolls, the best way to use a mid-roll is to use the 10 or 15 minute roll. You can place a double or a single mid-roll every 10 to 15 minutes apart podcast, and this can increase your revenue, sometimes by quadruple. I do recommend getting a mid-roll in the first 15 to 20 minutes of it. So a single or a double mid-roll within the first 15-20 minutes of the show is really important. The category on your RSS feed, make sure on your RSS feed that you have a category set, or you risk losing the ad revenue where ads are targeted to a certain category. You can do this under the basic info portion of your settings for your podcast. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of basic info and the category portion is there. Explicit content. If your content is tagged explicit in your feed, you limit your earnings by up to 60%, which is significant. It's really not hard to make good, clean content. I've had people ask me, what if somebody drops an F-bomb on my show? Well, you can go back and you can edit it, but it'll be crying over it, a horn beeping, some sound effects or just a beep just to get rid of the occasional swear word that may pop up to clean up your content, and this increases your revenue. Now we're to the Q&A portion of the event. If anybody has any questions, please raise your hand and I will unmute you and call you by name. Oh, I see my friend Jim Dawes. I'm going to unmute you, Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hey, Amy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good. Good to hear your voice.
You too. So if we're sharing our content off of Spreaker with YouTube, YouTube downloads the show, and any listens that come from YouTube are actually served from YouTube. I think that may be the case with TuneIn as well.
Anybody who imports the podcast and serves the content from their own platform, we cannot monetize. But TuneIn, I believe, is a pass-through, and we can monetize. iHeartRadio is pass-through. We can monetize, and Spotify also now. We're rolling that out as we speak, actually. Spotify, monetizing Spotify listens.
Are there any other platforms that actually download the show and serve them from their own servers that we would not see?
Yes, SoundCloud and Google Play are the two that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got any strategies on how to actually have a presence on YouTube and those others that would actually serve from Spreaker? I guess there's no way around that, is there?
Well, I mean, sometimes people will put a teaser out on YouTube and here to get the rest of the episode, maybe the first 3 minutes, and then link back to your Spreaker episode page.
Gotcha. Yeah, put a link in the show notes and just...
Right. Don't feed it directly from Spreaker because then you're feeding the whole episode, right? You're going to want to kind of do just a bit on the audio and do the first couple of minutes and link back.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anything else?
On the categories, I've got news and information, And
You're
I
doing
don't.
you're doing good with your categories. Yeah. Categories are important, right? I mean, advertisers will bid on ad impressions sometimes in, regarding categories. And to be honest with you, I've been looking at people's ad fill ratios across multiple categories, and I'm not seeing much of a difference between, let's say, entertainment or news or sports, etc. They're all pretty much neck and neck. I don't see much of a difference.
The question I had was, is news and information or politics more
Mhm.
popular?
Not more popular than any other one, no, not right now. We're not seeing any significant, like, I'm not seeing that health is bringing in 100% ad fill. No, everybody's pretty much neck and neck right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it for me.
All right. Well, you know how to reach me if you have more questions.
I sure do.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Joel Sturz, how are you? I don't think I can hear you, Joel. So I'm going to read you. If you have a question, you can call me later. Nadia, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Nadia.
Hi.
You're
How
on
are
the
you?
air. How can I help you? I'm good. I'm good.
I emailed you and I forgot what I emailed. My brain is like all over the place.
That's okay. You have a question
I
about
wanted,
the
I was wondering, going back to, now I'm going to ask you something different, but listening to what the gentleman before me said. So what you're saying is the direct feed when we do a podcast and it automatically goes to YouTube, there's no monetization for that, correct?
no. The podcast has to feed from the RSS feed or the Spreaker players or apps for ads to serve, because YouTube imports a file and serves it from their own servers. We don't serve ads there, no.
Okay, so I'll talk to you about that then, as to because that's what's happening with me. It automatically goes on YouTube,
Yeah,
right? And so, and SoundCloud, Google Play also are part of that. They do not.
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so okay, we'll have to work on that one. And let's see, I did have something. What did I email you? I can't even remember.
You know what? Let's talk later. You call me
We'll
later.
talk later.
Yeah, call me later. All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Nadia. Nigel Greer. Let's see if this Nigel. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Amy. Great to meet you. I just wanted to jump on and say, hey, I'm not so new to Spreaker, but I'm kind of new to understanding the monetization. I just wanted to thank you for your time today. I think you did excellent. I did think of a question while I was listening to the other questions. I guess to further what people were saying about YouTube being connected to my Spreaker.
Yes.
Should I ultimately disassociate it with YouTube, or are you just saying that whatever happens via YouTube, there's no monetization?
I'm not saying to disconnect from YouTube, but what I am saying is we can't monetize those listens for you. If you do want to monetize and cause YouTube to be like a funnel for you back to your Spreaker show, you could do a little edit on your audio, maybe upload the first 3 minutes of the show to YouTube and then link back to your Spreaker page for your episode in the show notes on YouTube. That would be a better way to funnel people back to increase monetization.
Awesome. I appreciate it. I really appreciate this forum and the opportunity to be a part of this today. I just want you to have an awesome day as I continue to listen to your questions.
Thank you for your kind words. It was nice meeting you,
Nice meeting
by the way. I'm going to unmute Corbett Thompson. Corbett, how can we help you today?
Hello?
Hello.
Ah, there you are.
Hi. What is your question?
Yes, basically about the mid-roll. You alluded to it earlier. You kind of sort of answered my question already, but when I go back in and I edit my episode and I reinsert it back in, I can do my mid-rolls from there once I've done editing and reinserting and all of that.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, you bring up a very good point. When you're creating your audio, if you set it to public without setting your ad markers, and the shows go out to the podcatchers, you risk them going out without the mid-rolls set to your subscribers. So my advice here is to get those mid-rolls in as soon as you can, because the longer you wait, the more people are going to listen to it without those mid-rolls. A gentleman I know was using the mid-rolls, and we thought he was doing everything right, but he was like, why am I not making a lot of money? And I'm like, well, finally I said to him, when are you putting your mid-rolls in? He's like, well, usually I upload and then I'll go back later today when I get home from work. And I'm like, well, that's a problem, because your subscribers are getting your podcast without the ads. So you've got to get them in right away. Did I answer your question?
Yes, just so I make sure I understand, I still have are you saying I have a little bit of time after I'm done to insert the mid rolls? Maybe, I don't know, maybe let's say a half hour or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can put your show to private, and then when you're ready, put it to public and with the ads placed in.
Okay, because I broadcast live to my audience. So once I go off the air, I can just set it to private, do what I have to do, and then go from there.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice meeting you.
Same here.
I've got Boo. Hello, Boo.
Hey, Amy, how are you?
I'm so good. How you doing?
I'm good. My question's related to the explicit content.
Yeah.
How I have a horror channel, a scary channel, and a lot of the stories drop the F-bomb, which I can change the wording. But how graphic does the horror content need to be before it is explicit?
I think what the definition of explicit is something that's like naughty, not so much scary, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you read the terms for what constitutes?
Yeah, they're always up in the air. You never
Yeah,
know.
I wouldn't consider your show explicit without the swear words, right? It's
Okay.
you're not talking about anything, risque.
Not
So
usually.
yeah, I just use your best judgment. That's all. Just use your best judgment. I don't think you're going to
Okay.
be in any trouble. As long as you get rid of the swear words, you're good.
Okay. That's good. Thank you. That's all.
Anything? That's it. All right, cool. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
I'm working backwards to the list. I'm sorry, guys. Bob, I'm going to massacre your name, Bob. Bob Kloffenstein. Is that right?
Bob. Hi, Amy. Bob K.
Hi. Oh, Bob.
It's Bob K. That's my legal name.
I'm so sorry, Bob. How are you, Bob?
You're forgiven, and I'm fine. And how are you? Great.
I'm good. What can I do for you? What's your question?
My
And I know I
question.
owe you an email, by the way.
What's that?
And I know I owe you an email, by the way.
And maybe a phone call. But
Well, you can call me later. Go ahead.
the question I have is, we insert our own pre, mid, and post rolls, and so far we've been doing them manually, and I know that's wrong. So did you go over how you tell your system where, how do you indicate to your system where the mid-roll should start?
You mean with the tool itself?
Yeah. Did I miss
Well,
that? Duh,
it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to backtrack. Can you still see my screen?
I can.
Where did it go? I think I went too far. Okay. Do you see this page here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the slider on the first waveform has a slider in it. You see where it says 1?
Mm-hmm.
That is the ad marker. You would just slide this back and forth from left to right. You can
I see.
click play to listen if you need to. And then once you have found the spot, you would click on insert ad, which you see on the bottom right-hand corner.
Right.
You would choose single or double and then click save if you're done. If not, go on and choose another mid-roll spot and do the same thing. Usually, and I know you guys professionally do your podcast, you can usually see the indicator like the audio waveform drops. You know, okay, well, that's where the spot goes, and you learn the behavior of your waveform after a little while. You know that, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's it.
I guess my follow-up question to that is, once we've done that, can I go and after I've published the podcast, can I actually hear that spot inserted when I play it?
If there's an ad fill for your area and for you, yes, absolutely. If you're listening from the Spreaker players or the RSS feed, if you ever have a question, you can always email me and I'll check it out for you. You
Well,
can
like I
also
said, oh, sorry.
you can also check your daily impressions and requests to make sure, you know, ads are serving. But yeah, typically.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, we put our own advertisers in those spots, in those positions. So there wouldn't be a request. The request would come from me, I guess, as I'm producing.
I think we're talking about two different things then. So you
Oh,
want to be able to serve your own ads?
exactly. Can I do that? Or do I just need
Yes.
to do it manually the way I've been doing it?
Yes, but that's a different conversation, and I will connect you with the person who can handle that with you because that's a different, it's our enterprise
Okay.
pack.
Well,
Yeah,
it's great to know I'm my own unique problem.
oh, no, well, you're
Yes.
a unique guy, Bob. I'll connect you with the person afterwards, so
Great. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Alan Smith. I'm waiting for the green microphone. There you go. Alan, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Good, good. Thanks for the seminar. This is great. I have a couple of questions that are related. The first one is single versus back-to-back, or I guess the other term is double.
Yeah.
Is there a dropout rate that's higher with listeners with the back-to-back versus single?
We've not seen any dropout from any ads at all. I've been at this since 2015. We introduced the ad insertion system on our other platform, and we were curious as well. Are people going to lose audience? And nobody has lost any audience due to ads. I think people are more used to them now. You know, YouTube kind of plays them all over the place, and Spotify, and everybody has ads now. So no, absolutely
Okay, yeah,
not.
I guess you're right. The times kind of have changed because in early podcasting, it was always like, if you don't get them hooked in the first minute, you're going to lose them, that sort of thing, right?
Listen, I've got a guy who places a double mid-roll every 10 minutes. And I think the last time I checked, he's getting 250,000 downloads a month. So no.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
All right, and then so I guess that same philosophy, would that apply to when people tune in via iTunes, where iTunes puts their own pre-roll in there? So if I do a pre-roll, then iTunes adds their pre-roll. That just adds that much more time before someone listens to the show. So I guess that wouldn't be affected as well, or?
I'm not familiar with iTunes putting a pre-roll in any shows, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Maybe I'm wrong. I thought that I've tuned into my own show on iTunes and heard a pre-roll.
Then it must have been from us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, it could have been from us.
So it was automated just because I signed up for the system, I guess.
Yeah. Once
Okay.
you've signed up for monetization, pre and post are automated as a default. So you begin as ads. So look, you're making money and you didn't even know.
Yay. All right. I think that was pretty much it. And yeah, actually, that was really enlightening to hear about YouTube. I didn't even know that you could get a RSS feed to go directly to YouTube.
Yeah, we feed content over to YouTube. We do.
Wow. Okay.
But if you're looking to monetize every listen, you know, like I said, you want to create a funnel back to your Spreaker episode page and just use YouTube as kind of a marketing tool, really.
All right. And the other question is, once the ad rolls are put in, when someone download, or if I download my own show, right, just to have a backup file, the ads are included in that, right? If I
On a
download
download?
directly from Spreaker?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because it downloads from the RSS feed.
Okay. And so when you go live, are those pre-rolls there live as well?
Nope.
No. Okay. So is there a way to set that up so as soon as you go live, you can have pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll?
Good question. I'll have to find that out.
Okay.
Oh, I got one more. Gordon? I'm just unmuting you, Gordon. Okay. Gordon, can you hear me?
I can. I don't have a mic set up, sorry.
That's okay. Me neither. Go ahead. I'm on my computer mic.
I was just asking, would it be bad practice to have an audio sting in front of the ad placement? I had my listeners kind of send me a few messages going, you blew the head off me with like super atmospheric podcast episode, and then the next thing it was like blah blah blah, guy go in your face, like the volumes can be different and all, and would it be bad practice to put an audio sting to let them know that there's something coming, or would that mean that they'd be like, oh, here's the fast forward button announcement?
No, because there's not always going to be an ad there, right? So like, let's say we're running 70% ad fill. You're going to have 30% of the time where there's not an ad. What I have had people do is upload like 5 seconds of a music, and they'll say something like, coming up next, XYZ, we're going to be talking about XYZ, and then it goes into the music clip, and they'll place that ad kind of in the middle of the music clip. But as far as the volume levels go, how do you save your audio file? Do you save it as a variable bit rate, or do you save it as a constant bit rate?
Constant bit rate, and it's minus 16 LUFS.
Okay.
So it's like the industry standard rate.
Email me afterwards what you're using for your audio settings, and I'll email you back what you should be using, and I'll also talk to my team if there's some kind of a issue with the volume. But there should be a leveler automatically on our.
Some of my earlier episodes were recorded quite poorly, and like there's echoey audio, so people are listening really careful, and then the next thing, blam, the big ad comes in. Do you know what I mean? A well recorded. So I was putting a musical sting in, just like a little 2-second riff, and I just wondered, is that like kind of asking for people to skip over them, or?
Yeah. Because if you say coming up next, you're not saying there's an ad. You're just saying coming up next, we'll be talking about, or to, or whatever. And there's no indication that it's actually going to be an ad. It's just, you're just saying coming up next.
Okay. I just have one more question, and I heard two guys before me, one of them asked about putting your own ads on. I noticed on the Spreaker platform you have an option to put like a customized intro that goes across show wide, but it only works for people listening on the Spreaker platform. Is there any future plan to make a kind of a pre-roll that we can put in like current news and events, or if we have something coming up, it can be like, this Friday we have this thing, and then it goes into the pre-roll for the ad and then into the episode?
Yeah, we
on all platforms.
Yes, at some point we will be giving the ability to people to purchase, ad space. You can even run a promo for your own podcast in another podcast, or what have you. So yeah,
but this is already in the Spreaker system, where you can have an intro that's show wide,
right?
But it's only available for people listening on the Spreaker website or app.
Exactly. Because right now it's kind of tied into our ad system. So it's not set up for that right now. But sometime in the future we're going to be.
And it'll be a paid thing, because the one at the moment is free. But if you want to have it on all platforms, then it's obviously a paid thing.
Right.
Because it was before the VoxNest partnership.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
still from that. Okay,
Yes.
so
It's gonna.
you just have to pay it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's purely monetization tool. Anyway.
Is there any option to ask about like denying certain companies or certain competing companies if we have our own advertising? Because I have advertising with Authentic Media, and if I'm doing like a partnership with, I don't know, Dollar Shave Club, and then there's some other razor company advertising using VoxNest, is there any way to deselect certain companies that we don't want ads on our show from? Or like, I don't want to advertise gambling, let's say.
Yeah, typically we don't run those types of ads anyway.
Yeah.
Our advertisers, we have filters in place for those types of advertisers. Typically you won't hear alcohol, anything rated. Political, we have a filter for political, etc. But as far as specific podcasts, brands, not right now. There's been talk of maybe putting blocks for categories, but nothing concrete yet. So right now, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks a million.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I will say, I typically the ads that you'll hear, and I'm sure you've all heard them on the platform already, things like Napa Auto Parts, Geico, Progressive. I've heard a Disney ad, Post University, Home Depot. They're all pretty generic ads. Occasionally you'll hear like a local restaurant, something's geographically running in your area, but everything's pretty generic.
Okay. Some people were saying during the midterm elections that they were hearing, like I on my show I was giving out about the Democrats, and then the next thing they heard an ad for a Democratic candidate. They were like, "This is weird."
Yeah, we did have one slip through, but we quickly got in touch with the server company and told them that they didn't have a filter in place properly. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah, that's not something that you want on your podcast.
Well, we're about like politics and stuff like that. It's just if you're advertising one side or the other, it just for content wise, like it's just because I've baked in ads, so I just don't want to cross over companies,
No, people can get pretty passionate about politics. You got to be careful with that stuff. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyway, you're welcome. You're welcome.
If you can just go over the CPM impressions thing for me one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go back to that page. It's a little confusing, right?
Just a little bit, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. All right. So a CPM is 1,000 impressions, right? So if you have one episode and you've placed 4 ad markers and it's heard 1,000 times, that's 4,000 CPMs, which equals 4 CPMs.
Okay.
So it's just, it goes by 1,000. So 1 unit is 1,000. So 4 CPM. So if the CPM is paying $5, the total amount for that episode for that 30-day period is $20. So you have to look at your listens in terms of 1,000 chunks. So each 1,000 equals 1 CPM. Does that make better sense?
Kind of. So it all depends on the impressions, correct?
It does. It does. So one show doesn't necessarily mean 1 impression. Let's say you've got 5 ads placed. That's 5 impressions.
Right. I understand. Okay. And then depending on how many impressions are made, that's how much it's going to create revenue, correct?
Correct. You get paid for impressions.
Got it.
Yeah. Of course, again, if you have any questions afterwards, just let me know and I can walk you through it.
Will do. Yes, ma'am.
No problem. Okay. Thanks for the question. It was a good question. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to be emailing a copy of this out. The one I'm emailing out is going to be a little bit more, have a little bit more explanation about some of the things I went through. Some of the things I talked about will actually be in, so it's a more expanded view of this in this form. Thanks for coming, and again, email me if you have any questions. I'm here to help and hopefully get you on the road to success and making money with your podcast. We have people making good money doing this. So everybody have a great day.